Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of We Watched a Movie. It's Finn.
I'm Brandon.
And we just got through watching Logan, premiere weekend on that movie starring Hugh Jackman and Sir Patrick Stewart and directed by James Mangold.
This movie was very entertaining. I kind of tried to avoid the hype and the outside engine about because I wanted to go in surprised. I'm really glad I did. I don't think that what I did see ruined anything about this movie. It is full of surprises and really deep performances. It has a very serious undertone, and it delivers on it very well. I thought it was very good. I was pleasantly surprised.
I can't agree more with everything that you just said about it. This movie it lived up to its hype. All the hype surrounding this film that I've heard from not only just the media, but from other friends of mine who have seen it over the last few days since Thursday night when it premiered. Everybody has just been raving about it and talking about how great of a film alone, just by itself as a movie it is, let alone how great of an X-Men, Wolverine, and comic book movie.
Yeah, I think what they did very smartly is they stepped away from the idea that this is a comic book movie, right? Yeah. And they focused in on specifically what is the story about this character we're telling, right? And they really took
emotion,
Wolverine
the feeling.
And they were like, we're going to be really true to this character, and we're going to show very human aspects of his character, because the weakness here isn't like physical weakness, it's emotional weakness. It's how you deal with pain and loss and regret, especially when it starts mounting up on you. Right. And how does that affect your sense of right and wrong? Even if you've been very anchored in your existence, like Wolverine, clearly this is our hero Wolverine that's done all these heroic things that we see him through the previous movies. But he doesn't feel good about it. Like when you meet him, you can tell that things have gone off the rails so far for this character.
It feels like a film about loss, about death, about aging, about regret at the end of all things. When you've come kind of to the end of your road. I mean, it's a film about aging completely. It really is. When you have an aged Professor X who's 90-something, he makes the point of saying, I'm a nonagenarian at one point in the film. Wolverine, Logan himself is old in this film and is now aging, feeling the effects of being a regular human as a result of the adamantium. They don't outright say that it's the adamantium,
but they imply there's some kind of poison.
Right, there's this implication of this adamantium.
Well, even that they didn't feel like they need to say exactly what was going on about a lot of stuff. Right. They were very subtle about how they told the story in this movie. Yeah. You have to be paying attention to what was on the radio and really listening to the lines. They packed a lot into very little.
I mean, they specifically say that it's 2029. They specifically said it in the future. They do a few things here and there that kind of give you this feel of, okay, this is a different world. This is the current timeline filled out to the nth degree. But at the same point, as you were putting it, they didn't tie themselves down too much to specific things or draw things out. Like they didn't go, well, okay, this is what happened in blah, 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 and Norman Osborn became president and blah, 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 and as a result, blah, 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 they didn't do a lot of that. They respected their audience enough to just put things out there and figure that the audience was going to figure a lot of it out.
Well, yeah, and I feel like they didn't feel a need to surprise you with Easter eggs constantly.
Yeah, exactly.
In this
movie,
overdo
that.
If they're in there, they're very subtle and they're like,
they're part of the environment.
Yeah, they're part of the environment. It feels wholly, but it feels like just people trying to live their lives.
Right. Exactly.
It feels like their struggles are very real. This is not like the X-Men you're used to, where they have money and resources and a jet and clothes.
And
these guys are struggling.
And that takes me helps to get me to a transition that I want to talk about with this, and I want to make sure we talk about this, is that this movie feels like a Western. This movie has the feel and I mean, from the moments, little moments in the score where you hear a harmonica playing.
The colors they use, it's
the
all
color
browns,
palette, right? The color palette, it's all browns and blacks and dusty. And one of my favorite quotes about him, a whole other movie, but it gets me to a place. The Wild Bunch is by Billy Bob Thornton, and he made the comment once. He said that movie feels like you can feel the dust, you can taste the dust in your mouth almost. That movie is just dusty. This movie, same thing, very much a feel of like you're in the desert with them. I mean, this is you're out there and you're in that lonely place of that they're at, and you're going through the stuff that grittiness, that reality to it. Like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, it has that Dust Bowl feel of loss. Like there's this kind of like this Great Depression inside the country. Like there's this feeling that there's this general sense that everything kind of went downhill a little bit, and like America's kind of like almost the mid
what's going on with
zone.
The mutants and but
just in general, across the board. Pulling it into like how it is like a Western, much like a Western. It's about this flawed hero, this Wolverine, which we have beautifully played by Hugh Jackman in this role. Probably his best, I think, is Wolverine, both physically and in terms of like the performance. I think it's the coolest Wolverine we've seen. This movie rotates around the young mutant that he's trying to help get across country, which goes back to the idea that this is a Western, and you're trying to get this young child from like point A, point B, and there's these trials and tribulations
from the hard West and the brutality of the uncivilized West to civilization and to a chance and to hope. And yeah, exactly. It does have that feel like that mentor, old gunslinger, young kid, traveling. I mean,
so
almost
much this movie
is
them traveling. So much this movie is them traveling, finding vehicles and rides and moving and staying one step ahead. And they help like a farm family out with like horses that are running amok. And you're like, how much more country can you get?
Exactly. How
and like
much
that leads
more
into
Western
it.
feel,
But it felt organic, and it worked inside of the movie with what all the characters are going through. Because like,
and it served the story, which is I think one of the most important things to take away from this, from Deadpool, from The Dark Knight. I mean, they're talking about this. They're saying this is the Dark Knight of the X franchise. Okay, so filmmakers, studio guys, if you guys want something that we, the fans, want to see out of these films, this is what these films have in common. The elements that they pull and that they take away from whatever elements and other stories that they're using comic book wise, they serve that story, and that should be a good story. At bottom line, if the base story that you're working with is not good, it doesn't matter what references you pull in, Zack Snyder, that you throw into it, they're not going to, it's not going to matter to anything because your story is weak. Just to kind of sum it all up, I mean, it's a great film, and it's got a good story that serves the rest of the film and what they're trying to do with it, and a great way for that character in that franchise to go out.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they decided to end this this character in this run with the Stewart and Hugh Jackman's run as these characters, very respectfully, with like really good performances that you feel really good about at the end.
Right.
I'm glad that it was as dark as it was, that they went the places they went. It finally, I felt like this felt like a Wolverine story.
Right.
Where it was like, yes, it's brutal and it's sad, and you feel bad at the end, middle, and beginning, because it's not like, as much as the character is cool, the story is sad.
Yeah, and, for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was very touching.
Hey everybody, that's been another episode of We Watched a Movie. Be sure and check out our other episodes as well as other stuff from Badger Nerd Works. And like, subscribe, share, comment down in the comment section below. Check out our other videos here on the side, and we'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye.